Did the Premier League fall off?
That's the big question we all want to know the answer to. The title is over. Relegation is over. What's there to play for?
Let's get right into it. What are the actual reasons we're seeing a quote-unquote fall off in the Premier League? Is it managers like Arteta, Pep Guardiola? Is it a lack of individual ability now that we don't have wingers, so to say, anymore? Is it the lack of funds that necessary to compete with big teams? Like, what really is driving this?
I mean, there's definitely not a lack of funds. The Premier League has the most money by far of any other league. There's no lack of funds. Coaches, I don't think, are the problem. Managers, I don't think, are the problem. Some of the best managers in the world in the Premier League.
Well, then, if you say that, what is falling off? Like, in my eyes, falling off is boring.
Right.
Footy's boring.
Right. The footy is boring.
One team dominates the entire season. And so, like, you saying the manager's not the problem, not the issue, I would beg to differ in it. Because I feel like they've got a lot to say in what goes on in the pitch and what not. Like, you look at Serie A, mate, none of those managers are telling the players to park the bus, X, Y, and Z. So, like, I can't really get behind you saying it's not the manager's fault, when in reality, it kind of is.
I think it's down to the players. There's no difference makers in the Premier League anymore. KDB's washed. Haaland is just a goal scorer. Those are the stars of the league. Salah is just a goal scorer. There's no difference makers on the eye anymore. There's no Hazard. There's no Mars anymore. There's no David Silva. These guys are the players you want to watch play ball. There's nothing like that in the Prem anymore, bro. The ceiling of the league has just fallen. The competitiveness is still there. All the teams are still quite even mid-table. There's always close games. You got Spurs and United in 14th and 15th.
Like, I'm just struggling to figure out why, you know? And only one thing leads me to that direction is the managers, the playing style. Pep Guardiola needs a specific type of player to pass the ball in the right moment at the right time. And if it's a creative winger that needs to do that, he's going to do that. He's not going to take the man on one-on-one, you know?
But why are you putting it all on Pep, though? There's 19 other managers in the league. There's 19
We all know who started this.
Some of the best football we've seen in the Premier League in the last 10 years came from Pep sides. So don't put it on Pep. Yes, we've seen Pep sometimes puts out robotic type football when the players aren't doing their job mainly. They're playing side to side. Pep can't control that. When the players are playing side to side and it's boring, Pep can't control that. Of course, Pep gives his instructions. He tells the players to not lose the ball. We know how Pep team plays, but at the same time, it's down to the players, bro. You have a player like Jack Grealish, who is supposed to be the star, the new star in the Premier League, taking players on, doing that, exciting to watch. Look what he's been doing the last 3-4 years. Is that on Pep?
I actually think it is.
Is that on Pep?
I genuinely think
Jack Grealish
that was a perfect example of a Pep player that he wanted, and he destroyed Jack Grealish.
How did he destroy him, though? Jack Grealish has free will. He is not controlled by Pep Guardiola.
Free will until 90 minutes, and then the next game he gets benched because he doesn't do what Pep wants.
No, he has free will, bro. He can go onto the pitch. He can go on and take a player on. He can go and do a double step over like he's able to, do a Cruyff turn, do something, put a good cross in, put a good shot. He never does it. That's not on Pep. That's on Jack Grealish not having the ability to do it anymore, bro. That's simple. There's no doubt about that in my mind. Pep, yes, changed Grealish's play style. That's down to Grealish not being able to adapt to that play style. Managers change play styles. They don't change the player's ability. They don't.
But if you don't use that ability, then
that's on the player.
It changes the player.
That's on the player.
It changes the player.
It's on the player to use the ability that they have. And we've not been seeing that in the Premier League from the top players. Like Phil Foden this season, for example. We have not seen Phil Foden use his ability. Is that on Pep? How is it on Pep?
Well,
Pep was managing him last season. Was he not?
No, I agree. I think that's just an anomaly. I think Foden has just reached his limit.
I think
he's
reached his limit.
To be fair, I think he's reached his limit.
Don't do that.
No, I'm being deadly serious. At the same time, though, yeah, we talk about boring, this and that, but we've seen a rise in the middle pack of clubs.
That's true.
Which I think is a good thing.
It is a good thing, 100%.
We have got Aston Villa doing scenes in the Champions League.
Yes.
We've got Bournemouth playing very good football. We got Crystal Palace, who is fighting relegation battle not even last season, putting up a lot of good results. Fulham as well, like Brighton, Brentford, like all of these players, they're competing with Manchester United. I just think the rise of the median has just elevated it so much, the league so much, that like these top teams, the top 6 teams, it's going to be hard to get plus 3 points.
Regardless of the middle pack raising their level, which is 100%, that's what's happened. The top teams are not as good as before. City, obviously, clear drop-off. That's fine. They've been good very long. A drop-off was going to come eventually. That's not a surprise. Arsenal have stagnated where they are right now. Yes, they made it to the Champions League semifinal, but they've stagnated in terms of their quality and how they play. They were playing better football 2 years ago. Liverpool, this Liverpool team that's running away with the league, nowhere near the level of the Liverpool team from 2018 to 2020. Nowhere near. That 2018 to 2020 Liverpool team would smack this Liverpool team 5-0. I'm certain of that. And the league is judged based off the ceiling, bro. We want to see the top level. We want to see the best players play well. Yes, it's cool to see Brighton play well, Brentford have a good game, Fulham play good football, Bournemouth. But at the end of the day, we tune in to watch who's first, who's second, first versus second, second versus third. And that level, that quality of match is not the same anymore. That's no doubt.
Where would you rank the quality of players in the Premier League amongst the top 5 leagues? Right
now, this season, the quality of the Premier League, I would say it's probably third out of the top 5 leagues. I think Serie A is a clear front runner. I think the quality in the Serie A showed this season, showed in the past couple seasons. I think they're top right now. La Liga for me second. La Liga is still second for me. I think the top 3 teams, Barca, Real Madrid, Atleti, I think all 3 of them could have won the Premier League this season. I think all 3 of them could have won the Premier League. So that alone makes them second for me. Prem, I think, comes third because I just don't see enough quality in Bundesliga to put them above Ligue 1. I don't watch enough Ligue 1, but I don't think Ligue 1 has the quality that the Premier League has yet. So
bit nuts because they've got the most money, like you said. I don't think the English media will ever change up in terms of watching other leagues.
Yeah, no chance.
The States, do I see it? No, I think there's just too much of an investment.
No, the Premier League is just, the marketing of the Premier League is too good. It's always going to be the top league, no matter what the quality is. But that's not the point. I'm not really worried about who has the most PR.
I'm just trying to think because you say that there's more quality outside of the Premier League, but we have all of the Premier League teams being the main teams that a lot of these players want to go to.
That's because of money. And that's because of the spotlight.
But it's the same players that are moving from the quality leagues into the Prem. So like
who though?
Enzo, Isak.
Enzo?
Tonali.
I mean, Enzo didn't come from a top team. Isak didn't come from a top team.
But
Tonali,
he got shipped off.
Tonali got shipped out of his will. Out of his will, he got shipped off. So
fairs. Like, how would you fix it from being boring? Like, do rules have to change? Do we have to make it? I mean, a lot of pundits are saying, like, listen, in order to adapt to the kids these days, we got to make football a lot more interesting, a lot more fast paced. PK was talking about, I think in Champions League, right? He was saying like, if there was a 0-0 draw, I think they both lose points or something like that.
Oh, yeah. No, I did see that. Where it was PK's trying to encourage a rule change.
I think it was if there is a 0-0 draw.
I think neither team
gets a point. Like, there needs to be a goal. They need to go for a goal.
But I'm trying to think, because, like, obviously Serie A, La Liga, they don't have these rules. So why is it that I feel like the Serie A matches are always more entertaining to me? Even the 0-0s in Serie A, sometimes they're much more entertaining than a 0-0 in the Premier League. So maybe it's because I'm tuning into much more Premier League that I'm more critical of it. I don't know. But for me, yeah, it's tough to say, bro.
No, it is tough to say. I mean, we're trying to answer the question everyone's trying to answer.
Yeah, no, for sure. This season specifically, though, I think relegation is a big part of what keeps a league alive, entertainment-wise, throughout a whole season. And the fact that it's over already, and it's been over for quite a while, is a letdown. Ipswich, Leicester, Southampton, all 3 promoted teams could not hang whatsoever this season, which was surprising. I thought Leicester were going to be able to hang a little bit.
Trust me, I knew in the first 3 game weeks, bro.
That definitely did play a role. That's not always the case in the Premier League. We know that. Last season's relegation battle was insane, and it went to the last day. So I think that maybe this season was just, an anomaly.
No, I actually don't think so. I think it's going to actually get worse.
You think it's going to get worse?
Yeah, I think it will.
Well, you think, like, who's going to get promoted? Leeds will come back. Burnley will come back.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe
though,
a Sheffield United, but these teams, they know the Premier League. Like Burnley back in the Premier League.
I understand that, but they've lost a massive amount of players.
That always happens, though.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It leads me back to what I had already said. Like, in order to stay up in the Prem, these promoted side needs to inject an insane amount of money.
They do need to spend money.
I don't think they're willing to spend the money.
I don't think they're able to spend the money. We saw Nottingham Forest spend insane amount of money when they got promoted. Then they got investigated. Right? Did they get hit with the point deduction? Look at where they are now. They're in top 4. So, Nottingham Forest is a perfect example of a team getting promoted. And within 5 years, you can be fighting for Champions League spots if you invest.
But you're just proving my point.
What's your point?
Is that these bottom promoted teams aren't going out of their way to spend the necessary amounts of money to stay in the Prem.
That's not true. Forest did it.
Villa
did it.
And now I'm Villa.
Yes, Villa. Don't.
What you want Villa for?
Do you think Villa's been in the Prem for 10 years? Remember, they were in the Championship not that long ago.
How long ago?
Well, it's probably been like 7 years.
Okay, that's more than enough time. But I'm saying that's 2 out of how many, bro? I'm saying that is the blueprint, bro. They invested a lot of money. They injected a lot of money, and look where they're at right now.
So you're saying money saves everything?
Well, look at it, bro. I think that's the only way to kind of compete, bro.
It is the only way to compete in the Premier League.
At least try to compete.
That's down to the owners. That's down to the owners.
I
to do
agree.
It. So it's not down to the managers. It's not down to the players. Maybe it's down to the owners. Maybe the league is falling off because of the owners. Maybe there's not enough good owners in the Premier League. We got Spurs owner Daniel Levy.
He's not the owner.
Chairman. That's all. The people in the board is what I refer to as owners, bro. These guys aren't doing their jobs. Maybe you got Spurs, who are one of the richest clubs in the world. They're 15th in the Premier League. Why? Maybe because they don't invest enough. They don't invest properly. United, same deal.
Was Florentino Perez right about the Super League?
Was he right about the Super League?
Because if you think about it, right?
I don't think he was.
If you think about it, right, we want the best players playing against the best players.
Right.
Champions League, for example.
Yes.
This format, very good this season.
Very good.
Because of what?
Because
we had the best teams playing against the best teams.
Yes.
The most interesting sides playing against the most interesting sides.
Right.
Do we want to see Sampdoria versus Monza? Do we want to see Wolves versus West Ham?
Yeah, you have to. You have to be able to see those. You have to want to be able to see those because that's the league. That's the league football. The Super League didn't nullify that. You're saying like that if the Super League was created, we weren't going to see Wolves West Ham. The Super League was going to be a replacement to the Champions League. Anyway, I think UEFA did what they had to do to make the Champions League interesting again with the league phase. They did exactly what they needed to do. But I think
in the end, a lot more people would have tuned into the Super League than the regular league.
Yeah, because they would have brought in more casuals. But at the end of the day, I'm not a casual.
But the clubs as well, they were gonna cater to the Super League. They would play the reserves against West Ham, X, Y, and Z.
But you don't want to see that,
they would have phased them out. They would have phased the Premier League out.
You don't want to see that, though. We want to see league play be entertaining. We don't want to see it phased out. We want to see it come back to top entertainment. Back in the day, bro, mid-table teams had that one baller in the squad that was worth tuning into. Who does Bournemouth have? Even though they're even though they're a great team. Even though they're a great team, Bournemouth are a great team. They have good players, good manager. But do they have that one player that you're tuning into Bournemouth to watch? Not really, bro. Fulham, I'm not. Brighton, Brentford, Palace, maybe Eze, Olise with Palace, but Olise's gone now to the Bundesliga. You know what I'm saying? You used to have Dimitri Payet cooking at West Ham. Well, where's Dimitri Payet? Where's JJ Okocha? Where are these players?
Mateus Cunha.
Cunha, you know.
Is a prime example.
Cunha, you know.
Is a prime example.
Cunha, you know.
Cunha is a very good
he's
baller
very
right
good,
now.
and he's having a good season.
He's having a Dimitri Payet type of season.
Whoa!
Are you really going to sit here and say that?
Comparing Cunha's season to Dimitri Payet.
Are you actually
to prime Dimitri Payet?
Are you actually mad?
Have a day off.
Are you actually mad?
Have a day off.
Are you genuinely
mad? Don't ever make that comparison
Have
again.
you watched Wolves this season?
I've watched plenty of Wolves.
Did you not see how many worldies he's
put
up?
Don't forget what Payet was doing in 2015, 2016.
14 goals, 4 assists from Mateus Cunha, you know.
Payet was running the league, bro. Do not make that comparison. I'm not hearing that whatsoever. No chance.
I think Mateus Cunha is having an outstanding season. He's one of the players where it's like, oh, Wolves is playing. Oh, Mateus Cunha might do something magical.
Nah. I'm not turning on Wolves to watch Mateus Cunha. I'm sorry. I was tuning in to West Ham to
No,
watch.
you are not.
Dimitri Payet.
Let's be honest.
Yes,
you were
I
not doing that.
was. Yes, I was.
You were not doing that.
100% I was. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. Did the Premier League fall off? Is it just an off season? Are we overreacting? What's your favorite league to watch right now? Let us know. Hit the like button, sub up. Catch you next time. Peace.